Hey ladies, what's up? This is Love from Tired the Group. Welcome back to my channel. And today, I want to go for a topic. Your man is not your friend. Okay? So first of all, you need 3 things, right? You got to keep these separate. Your man, your friends, and I'll go ahead and put family in that category, and your coworkers. If you have a job that you love and you are working solely because you want to. Because if that man is not fully providing for you and you have to go to work to pay bills, you are in fact single, okay? So first of all, and I used to be guilty of this, we tell men way too much. You go into a relationship and you're sharing your past relationship, what hurt you, what you liked, what he did in the bedroom that you enjoy, putting all of these images in this man's head about you and what other men have done to you, in whether it be physical, emotional, or whatever. And that's not how you want to start a relationship off. It doesn't matter what happened to you in your last relationship. That's for you to know, so that you won't repeat the same mistakes. If a man goes into a relationship asking questions like that, like, oh, well, why did your last relationship end? And have you ever been cheated on and things like that? Tell him, no, you have not been cheated on. No, I've never had my heart broken before. No, I've actually had some great relationships. My boyfriend and I, my last boyfriend, we broke up because he proposed and I just didn't think he was the right guy. Yeah, it was actually very sad. Or, oh, my ex-boyfriend moved out of the country and I just wasn't ready to move. He got a really good job in Italy working for the government, and I just didn't feel comfortable leaving my family behind. Don't ever tell him things that you've been through, because he's going to put you right back through it. He's just checking your temperature. When you give them no information, you give them no ammo. They don't know where to aim. They don't know how to treat you, okay? A second part to that, not knowing how to aim and how to treat you, is if you keep your emotions intact. Keep your mouth closed and keep your emotions together. Don't feel like you have to react to every little thing that he does, because he will use it against you. He'll use it to control you, and he'll use it to get himself into and out of situations that you all have as a couple. Okay, so for instance, if he starts an argument so he can leave the house and go hang out with his friends and cheat on you, right? You blow up, you throwing stuff, pushing him, put bleach on his clothes. Now he has a reason to leave. Man, you crazy. You always doing this crazy stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then you, I'm so sorry, crying and looking slow. That's what you look like, slow. I was about to use the R word, but that is highly inappropriate. The next thing, like I said, your man is not your friend. So this means don't be telling him all your friends' business, telling him about all the latest workplace gossip and what happened with Sandy and this person and that person. That's none of his business. Don't even gossip in front of him. Like when you're on the phone with your friends, that's between you and your friends. Do that on your way home from work, on your way to work in the morning, on your lunch break. Text and call your friends, FaceTime your homegirls, have that conversation there. When you get in the crib, he don't need to know nothing about what you and your friends got going on. Let me tell you why. The way a man thinks, birds of a feather flock together. So if your friend is talking about a different man every other day, he's going to think that you're slutty. If your friend is talking about cheating on her man or gossiping about the next person and how she looks, he's going to think that you're also messy, all right? Men don't like that. Also, it's not your job to be telling your man everything that goes on in your friendships and things of that nature. Like, it's just uncouth. And people will stop trusting you. Like, if I know you tell your man everything, I'm not coming to you telling you any of my secrets. That's none of his business. Straight up, like, don't do that. Just stick to the code, stick to the girl code. Keep her business to yourself. If you can't, you just don't need to listen to it, period. Next, friends and family are separate, okay? If you want to have certain friends that you hang out with as a couple, okay, cool. But your friends, no. I don't even hang out with my friend and her man with my friend, well, with my man, you know, like I don't do the whole double dating amongst friends. If we meet together, my man and I meet another couple and we decide to do that, okay, that's different. But because my friend and I are already friends, that's my relationship with her, right? So I don't mix and mingle those different groups. It's not cool, not a good look. Also, his family is his family, babe. So don't think for 1 second that they are going to take sides with you, even if they take your side in certain situations, right? Because sometimes the men are dead wrong and his family may be willing to admit that. Who knows? But that's still his family at the end of the day. All right? So if he gets locked up for going upside your head and they pay to get him out, don't be offended because that's their family member. He is their responsibility, okay? Next, your co-workers. Don't go to your co-workers telling them about your man. See, let me tell you something about co-workers. Co-workers are associates specifically for work. You network with them. You may have lunch with them sometimes. You may talk about small things like, you know, their children or sports or travel, things of that nature. But it's not for your personal business to be spread, okay? That gets messy really fast. You shouldn't be dating anybody at work. So just keep all of those things separate. It's not a good look. And in addition to that, you will notice by not doing these things if your man is petty or if he's sloppy. And if you're dealing with a petty or a sloppy man, you need to cut him off today. Petty men mean you no good. I dated this guy who was super petty. And I knew I could not trust him because he could not control his emotions. He'd get an attitude. He'd kick his feet, make noises. And I'm like, what are you, 7? This has to be a joke. It has to be a joke. He wanted us to move in together at one point. And one day I got upset with him and I left his place. We never moved in together, but I left his place and he said, oh, that's a trigger for me. You know, I've watched so many people walk out of my life. I didn't like seeing you turn your back towards me, blah, blah, blah. You know, basically let's work it out next time. Let's talk through it. Okay, I can do that. I was young. I know I'm not the best communicator. I've gotten much more effective over the years. So I took heed to that. Not even 2 weeks later, we get into an argument and he literally kicks me out of his place. But you want us to live together? And he was paying all of my bills at the time, even though we didn't live together. But now you think I'm going to be under the same roof as you, with you paying for everything, and I'm not going to think that you may attempt to kick me out again. No, sir, I'm good. Take heed, watch what they do, watch their behaviors. Another thing, he was in a previous marriage before me, and he told me that he was still paying on his ex-wife's ring once they actually divorced because it was in both of their names or something like that. Long story short, they divorced. She doesn't give the ring back, so he was still paying on it. He asked her for the ring back. She wouldn't give it back, so he stopped paying on it, which means he doesn't care about his credit. A man would have paid that ring off, called it a day, didn't let it affect his credit and moved on, right? But instead, he allowed his credit to suffer over a ring that he's never going to see again. Do you see how that works? And the ring was not that expensive for him to just say, oh, I'm not going to pay anymore. In addition to it, if a ring is real and it's actually worth something, he should have been able to write that off on insurance. It should be insured. So why weren't you able to file a claim, get what you needed, and be able to pay that ring off? Not a thinker, right? So now I can see that you operate out of emotion, that you don't care about your credit, and in the event that we are to separate, you will leave me with those bills by myself with no problem because you're not concerned about what happens with your credit. You see how I picked that up? So be mindful when they speak to you, listen. Don't ever think he's telling you something for no reason. Listen to him. Because what they did in a previous relationship is what they're going to do to you, babe. And this is why I need for you to keep information to yourself, because they don't need to know what your next move is going to be. That's for you to know and him to find out with time, not through you sharing that information. Okay? So I really hope this helped. Please leave these petty men alone. I'll tell you time and time again, I've been stalked several times. I was stalked one time by a man I didn't even know. My job actually saw him come in. I pointed him out. They called the police. The police had to tell him to never follow me again. Okay? I've been stalked by men that I've been in relationships with. I've had my car windows busted out. There's been a number of things done to me by petty men to where I know for a fact I don't want them in my life. I don't need a man who's petty, and I don't need a man who doesn't have anything to lose, okay? So if you guys have a topic, please make sure you send it to tiredthegroup@gmail.com, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.